I'm going on it.
Are there any general questions from the audience that maybe I haven't covered or we haven't talked about yet? Don't be shy. Fabulous, ladies, over to you.
I have a question for Kate.
Yes.
Also, like said, skill set.
Just
give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to.
With the, I'm sorry, the lights I can't see.
Hi Kim, my name is Neha. I would like to know a little bit more about what many say that a taxi driver, then after 2.5 months he got recruited. So what was the journey? What platform people can have when they want to change their skill set or when they want to start at entry level? And so in a corporate, in a corporate setting.
Yeah, for sure. So it wasn't really starting at the bottom as a trainee. After speaking with him, he had a petroleum engineer degree. And as I mentioned, we have a Flint management training program where he had a lot of transferable skills. So he had the experience in his country, and there was a lot of transferable skills. So the Flint management training program, you would come in as an entry level, pay fairly well, but you're going to go through some of the corporate functions. So you're going to learn a little bit of project controls. You're going to learn about project management, a little bit of estimating. I'm going to teach you in recruitment how we hire in our organization. So what we're doing is we're taking that individual, we're putting them through our Flint management training program, and then graduating him into a project coordinator, and then moving up into a project manager. So that is what, we have those roles currently open right now. And sometimes those are the best. They have a great work ethic, they want to learn, they have this eagerness. And so just chatting with the individual, I always ask everybody, the first question is, what is it that you do? And that's just me. So he's employed today. I spoke to somebody as well today. No, I'm not sharing the resume. And we are hiring again for these roles. So.
I guess also just trying to get your foot in the doors is, do that research, right? So there's a lot of different industries out there that are hiring from a oil industry, from an energy sector. Get to understand, what's upstream, what's midstream, what's downstream, right? Who are hiring? What is it that you think you can transfer from the skills that you've learned and that you've developed? What do you like to do? Are you an outdoor person? Or do you rather sit behind a computer? Or do you like to interact with people? All these different things, again, contribute to what you can bring to the table. And when you do that education, you take that responsibility, and then maybe you set that research on that side of what that company does, then you come more prepared, right? So one of the biggest challenges that we have is setting expectations and managing those expectations with new hires, and having people come in that for some reason they thought that they were going to be doing a certain type of thing, and for whatever reason they're therefore not being fulfilled. They're misunderstanding what they're supposed to be doing. So really understanding what it is that you might be interested in doing, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Not every job's going to be fun every day unless you're working with us. But that being said, it's if you're not out for, if you don't like to drive, if you are don't like to get dirty, if you love to work on equipment and you love to get dirty and try things new, again, all those things are skills that you can bring to an opportunity. So I really do encourage everybody to take that responsibility, that accountability, do the research, understand what opportunities are out there, and then that way, when you come to the table, you can also have a good conversation, ask the right questions, so that you're also understanding what's expected of you. So make it a full circle, right? It's not just about us and asking you the right questions, but you need to also ask us the right questions, right? It's a personal decision for you. It's a business decision for us. So again, you make sure that you ask those questions so that you're sure that, again, what's the lifestyle? If you have a family, if you have kids, are you going to be away from home? All of those sort of things play a factor. So.
And that was really good, because in terms of your lifestyle, there's roles that we have that you can work from home. So there is hybrid models, which means that, you know, you're working from home. Do you want to do rotational work? Do you want to stay in a camp? Right? So I love that. So just ask the questions and then understand the expectations as well. So.
And I think I would be remiss if I didn't add that there's a multitude of jobs in the service sector. So, I got you, buddy. So we've got transportation, we have Flint here, we've got everybody down the supply chain from drilling, but there's also, if you're looking at future state and you want to be involved in innovation and technology, the energy sector is by far one of the most innovative sectors out there. There's jobs in artificial intelligence and robotics, there's scientist jobs, there's medic jobs on site that a lot of people aren't aware of. So, like everybody said, do some research, and if you're having difficulty, my colleagues Josh and Jerry are in the audience, and they'll be able to point you to our website, because we do have a number of companies and the type of jobs out there listed on the website, so you guys can visit that as well.
That's really good.
Okay, sorry, I'll get you a mic. Go for it.
Okay, I am asking this question because I have faced this type of situation in several conversations. So there are so many people here, some might stay here as a citizen, some might come here as a peer, and some might come here as a open work permit holder. So when you recruit, despite of having all the qualifications for your post, do you really think or do you really search that whether the applicant is peer or citizen or work permit? Because this question is kind of valid, because the work permit holder, you don't sure that he will continue, I mean, for next 5 years or 10 years. So do you really look for that person who is a work permit holder?
Hi. So in the past, I've had experience with open work permits, landed immigrants. So yes, we would apply. So if you came and you told us that you have an open work permit, then we actually have a process that we apply to then take on your work permit. So we hire. Right now, we're looking at a process. I have my talent acquisition strategist in the audience. We are actually looking at a different process to kind of fast track it. So we're looking now, like, we need business. Like, we need to start fast tracking. How can we get newcomers in the door quicker, as opposed to this is taking forever and we're still waiting. So yes, we have hired in our organization folks that are applying to be a permanent resident, folks that have an open work permit. I have been with other midstream companies where we have brought in thousands of temporary foreign workers as well. So we do have that process. We're just looking right now on how we can fast track this.
So, and I know some organizations don't, unfortunately aren't able to facilitate that, depending on the size of the company, to be able to sponsor or work with people with open work permits. You know, from my past experience with my current company, Sanjel, if a person does have an open work permit, you know, we will provide the supporting documentation for you to reapply, and to ensure that, again, that you're legally allowed to work in Canada. So again, it's a good question to ask when you are talking with a recruiter or talking with the company to find out what they'll be able to support you with, and being able to, and this is, you know, not everybody's educated when it comes to foreign workers and open work permits and residency status, etc. So also bringing that information to the meeting so that you can educate that person just in case they don't have that information, so they understand what you need potentially as them as the employer, and then therefore they can do their due diligence and find out what they're able to do to assist you. So it's a good good talking
Good
point,
question.
for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a great question, thank you.
Actually, my question, hi, my name is Marisa. Actually, my question is related with his question. Because you say that you had a lot of training or opportunities for training. But my question is, those opportunities are only for temporary residents? Sorry, for permanent residents or also for temporary residents? Because maybe the companies don't want to invest on temporary residents.
I think it depends, right? Again, it's that conversation you need to have, right? And if it's temporary status that you have in Canada, you know, when you go through the hiring process, the onboarding process, the system will know that you're a temporary resident of Canada. So we'll need to do our due diligence and see what your visa is and et cetera, and when it expires. But you need to have that conversation so that both parties can manage expectations for yourself and for them. And if things change, again, what kind of support do you need from your employer, and are they able to provide that support for any application that you might be pursuing, right? So it will always be a challenge, right? Because it's a government process, and it's, you know, when you talk about being expedite, it's a little bit different when you're trying to expedite the government. That being said, again, having that conversation and managing, you know, what your thoughts are, what you need, and then ensuring that the employer can provide that. So.
And I think I would add, just on the government point of view, it's, so for Enserva, we're currently working with the federal government to help expedite and do an exemption, so just for the energy service supply and manufacturing sector, so that we can get more people through the process faster than having to wait the regular channels right now. So,
Oh, that's really good to know. That's good.
look what you learned today.
Information shared. Love it. That's good.
Hi, my name is Eva. So my question pertains to the energy sector and how organizations are essentially changing and how that affects recruitment. So you did mention that the energy sector is changing. That was the first thing you mentioned, right? So my question is, how is it affecting your recruitment in general? So is there something new applicants should know? So for example, I'm certain training has been affected because existing employees probably will need to get trained onto new curriculums, new policies and whatnot. But is there something that new applicants should know about? Is there something we should, in terms of our existing training, our existing skill levels, that we should take into account in that regard when before applying, you know? Something that feels edgy.
If I could jump in, we have training organizations here in the exhibition space. That is a fantastic question to ask them after our program. And they'll have some really great information on the type of training that will help you. So.
And I think as an energy sector, you know, we're evolving, we're changing in the sense that from a safety perspective, you know, what we expect and what we provide from a due diligence, you know, this concept of ESG, right, environment, social and governance, thank you. So looking at being accountable, right, and when you look at how things happen, especially in Canada, you know, it's not just you can just go out and drill a well and produce a well and what have you, right? There's a lot of compliance that needs to happen, licensing that needs to happen, right? So when you're talking about evolving and advancing, it's about technology. It's about, you know, being responsible, right, to our planet, to our country, to the environment that we work and operate in, right, and being responsible to the communities that we operate in as well. So it's not just one thing. It's basically as a whole, as an industry as a whole, and other industries are doing the same thing. We're being more accountable and holding ourselves more responsible for how we conduct our business, right, and the footprint that we leave behind, and how we, you know, work with and deal with in the communities that we work and operate. So I think hopefully that helps. Yeah, it does. Okay, we'll take that as a win. Thanks.
I think the only thing I would add that's a trend, it's not a trend, it's here to stay, I have to say this, right, people, is to read up on ESG, which is environment, social, and governance, and what trends that the oil industry is looking at right now, just to get you familiarized with where we're headed.
Yeah, is that fair?
100%.
Oh yeah, okay, Mike, there's more questions.
Hi, this is Fatima. My question is regarding professionals, newcomers with no prior Canadian experience. So the question is, do really companies have any kind of processes, mechanism for fast tracking professionals? When I say professionals, it's like 10 plus years experience within the oil and gas. You did mention the mandatory training program, but I believe, unless my understanding is wrong, it's still entry level. I will speak for myself, like I think we all kind of accept the idea of stepping back a little, you know, to get back on track. But personally, at this stage, I don't see myself going back completely to the entry level, which means, you know, I did the field and then progressed from there on. So I don't think I would go to running, you know, wireline operations again. So what's in there, you know, for, let's say, professionals?
So yes, as wireline, yeah, you paid your dues, and I think that's the other thing to think about is when you've worked in the field and you've gotten that experience, and it is very transferable, and it is, you know, a lot of companies are not just hiring entry level, right? You need to take a look. You know, LinkedIn is a great resource. Take a look and see who's hiring. Basically, you can do a search for your background and so forth. Networking opportunities just like this, right? Talking to career companies. That are networked, and like that's one reason why I think all of us are here is because this is an opportunity for us to also access a pipeline that we normally wouldn't be able to access. That we, again, it's a direct link for us to have that opportunity to work with people and to engage with individuals that are again, that we're having this conversation. So I think it's about your network and different associations that are out there talking with people. It is a challenge. It is really, really difficult because there's, you know, there are a lot of jobs out there, but there's also a lot of people applying for it. And we always say that we're always looking for people, but it is about who you talk to and the bridges that you build, and I guess the referrals that you really useful, right? It's, you know, guiding you down maybe other paths of other opportunities that are out there. And it's don't give up. Right? That's the hardest part. It's don't give up. It's out there for you. You know, maybe have someone take a look at your resume. Maybe have someone take a look at you know, where some transferable skills are. There are associations and groups out there that provide that service for you so that you can, again, when a person's looking at your resume, those keywords are there so that they can connect the dots with the opportunity that they're looking to fill. So there's lots of resources, like I said, and it's just a matter of capitalizing on them. And I do believe that, you know, here in this building, there's a lot of expertise that's associated with that as well that can help you with that. And a lot of other organizations, not-for-profit as well, that are there to assist people coming in and trying to, you know, get in at the right level of competency that we've already developed. So, persevere.
You won't go back to wirelines.
Yeah, you won't go back to where I want to work.
Anyone else?
Give me my stacks in today.
Hi, my name is Kay. My question goes this. I usually see this clause in most of the job adverts. They say oil and gas experience is an asset. Now, how do we start the change if we got no oil and gas experience? I've got some experience, but it's not oil and gas. I've got experience in piping and related activities in the food industry, but not oil and gas. So, do we sign the change? How can application be competitive when we compete with people with oil and gas experience? And another question I want to ask is, I don't know the websites you're talking about where we get the monitoring training option. I didn't find any monitoring training option on Flint's website. So I want to ask, where can I get that? Thank you.
Sure. So, hello. So we have management training programs, positions open. They're not open all of the time, but we are advertising for roles. Just to clarify, so what I heard is that you have, is it cooking experience? You're in the food industry and you want to get into the oil and gas industry. So we have, and that is on our website, it is called the Emerald Training Program. Now, you have to want to be on a rotation. You would have to want to be working 7 days on, 7 days off, flying into Fort McMurray and flying out. We have an Emerald program where we take individuals that have zero experience. But what we're looking for is, you've said it many times, is energy, positivity, somebody wanting to learn. We will take individuals, offer free training. There's a location in Red Deer, I believe, in Fort McMurray, which is free training. If you pass that, we will actually employ you and put you to work on one of our client sites. So that is also on the website. So, I encourage you to come and talk with me. We have hired many in the Emerald program. In fact, there was a female that worked in recruitment. How could she leave me? She is now going through that Emerald training. So leaving corporate, going to operate a heavy equipment, 797, look that up. They're the size of a house. She is going to be operating that. She's graduated and I'm so proud of her. She is now a heavy equipment operator. So from recruitment, corporate, zero experience running this machinery, went through the training that we provide for free and is now working on one of our client sites. So again, ask the questions, call us, come and chat with us, but that is also on our website.
And I think that one little sentence that says oil and gas industry experience is an asset, that's in there, but the reality is it's an asset, right? So look at the job description, look at where you feel that you have some transferable skills, and then again, tailor your resume to that application. The other piece of the puzzle is when you apply to some of the companies, they basically do a word search and flag your resume. So when you have the proper suited resume to the application, it really will help as well if you feel that is a good fit for you. And again, it's about looking at the opportunity and making sure that you feel that you could do that job and why it is that you could do that job, even though you don't have any oil field experience. So if you feel that you can do that job based on the description that's there, then again, tailor your resume and highlight those areas that you feel that are in sync with that, and then again, hopefully take advantage of that. So. But yeah, companies like Flint that have their own programs where you can actually go in, train, and learn. The larger organizations can facilitate that, and that's that there as well. Look at those types of organizations that will actually look and take some transferable skills and help develop you from the entry into the organization. So.
Unfortunately, I can feel Pat behind me, and we are out of time. But thank you, Center for Newcomers, for hosting us today, and thank you all of you.